Okay, so we are now recording. All right. I just want to take a moment to, Spencer. Wait, Chris. Yeah, Chris, are you in another room or something? Hold on, I'm getting someone else to join on here.
He's putting it on his laptop.
Okay.
I'm on my phone, yeah, so he's putting it on the laptop.
Okay. All right. All right, so let's get started then. I'm gonna go ahead and this is already recording. Great. So I want to welcome everybody to the 6-week challenge. It's going to get so real, so good. You guys are going to build so much strength. Your core is going to get smaller or stronger, or you'll be able to engage it more. Your mind to muscle connection will also improve. I have a lot of cues, as if you've seen the videos, you kind of hear the cues that I give you throughout the workouts. Okay, so this meeting is our very first meeting. I want to talk about nutrition. Nutrition is so important. It is something that if you don't get a handle on right now, then no matter what kind of workouts you do, you'll never see the results that you want. So what I'm going to try to do is design or help you design your meal plan that works for you. I hate telling people what to eat. I'm always going to kind of use what you eat to make your meal plan. All right, so keep that in mind. There are going to be 2 specific documents that I want you to have. It's going to be the your measurement sheet number 1. That's in your Google document, and also your Facebook profile or the private group. If you want to qualify for any of the challenge prizes at the end, you want to submit your measurement sheet and your before pictures, so that you can submit your after pictures at the very end, and that'll qualify you for a prize. All right, the second one is going to be your grocery list. So that grocery list is also on there too, with your portion sizes, located in the Google Doc or in Facebook. If you need me to send that to you individually, I can. But those are going to be very handy for you for this conversation specifically, and whenever you are trying to fill in your categories going forward. So I'm going to reference categories a lot throughout this entire thing. So you want to fill in your categories essentially. All right. So I like to start off these kind of meetings saying your body sometimes has trust issues when it comes to getting certain type of categories in their daily meals. I like to break down the meals into 3 separate meals, your first meal, your second meal, and then your third meal. And if you just have 2 meals a day, I also want this meal to be complete when you fill your categories. So the first category, or there's 4 categories. So there's going to be a protein, a carb, a fat, and a vegetable. So if you were to write down first meal, I would normally put P, C, F, V to separate out the category. So you want to already write that down on your sheet of paper right now to kind of start your first meal. So especially it being your first meal, you want your body to get all the nutrients from all the categories. So I want you to think about what your typical first meal looks like and start to jot that down. Fill in the categories. All right. If I have, let's just say, avocado toast, I'm going to put the toast in the carb section. And because it fits in my 1 palm, that's 1 serving. And we'll talk about servings here in a second as well, too. The avocado is going to be the fat. So then you'd put avocado in the fat section, and you want about 2 thumbs of an avocado. Guys can go for 3. We're going to be around 2. And if you want, you can go ahead and write down your portion sizes for the day. The girls are going to try to stay around 4 servings of protein. That is enough to keep our hormones balanced, our brain to have enough energy throughout the day and just to function. So we want 4 servings of protein a day. Guys are going to be closer to 6, definitely 5, but closer to 6. When it comes to carbs, your total for the day, women, it's going to be 3 to 4. And men, it's going to be 4 to 6 servings. And we'll talk more about servings. Your fats are going to be women 3 to 4 as well. And then men, we're shooting for 4 to 5. That'll just keep everything nice and balanced. And as you get really good at that, then we'll perfect it all more throughout the whole thing. And you can reach out to me if you're already, doing really good there. Your vegetables, you want to try to get 4 servings, 4+ servings in your entire day. So definitely try to get 4. And that's going to be in the vegetable section. All right, going back to the first meal, you have your 4 categories. I'm going to finish out my avocado toast. So if I have an egg, I want you guys to know that 1 egg is half of a serving, 2 eggs is 1 full serving. So if I were to have 2 eggs on the avocado toast, that means I have 1 serving of protein. If I have 1 toast, that's 1 serving of carb. If I have 2 toasts, it's 2 servings of carbs. For the fat, I want 2 thumbs. Guys, I want 3 thumbs, 3 to 4, just depends. Protein, carb, fat, vegetable can be, if you want it to be arugula, spinach, something like that. But that's just an example. You might have a totally different type of breakfast or first meal. So I want you to think about filling the categories every single time. If you are having a hard time filling the categories, or you're finding that it's just carbs, then we are not filling the categories. You want to find a way to fill it. All right. Portion sizes. If you see in your grocery list, you have your portion sizes there. Just really quick. So your first portion size is your protein. Think a palm is 1 serving of a protein. So Chris, you're going to take your own palm because your palm is bigger than Lily's palm. And that's essentially your personal portion size. Then when it comes to your carb serving, we're thinking cupped hand. And this is also like a half a cup. So if anybody wants to write a half a cup or a cupped hand, that's 1 serving. Ladies, we're going to be closer to 1/3 of a cup, since our hand tends to be a little smaller, but there is no perfect measurement there. As far as it being 1 serving, and then fat, 1 serving is a thumb. You've already heard me say a thumb, and that's just from your knuckle to the tip of your finger, not your nail. And your vegetables are going to be a fist size. So if you were to, let's just say broccoli is on your plate, and if you can put your fist over the broccoli, kind of hide it, then that means you have 1 serving of a vegetable. And so I've given you your totals for the day. You want to shoot for, ladies, 4 servings of protein, 3 to 4 servings of carbs, 3 to 4 servings of fat, 4+ serving of vegetables. Guys are going to be 5 to 6 servings of protein to build strength. 4 to 6 servings, 5 to 6 servings of carbs, and we want 4 to 5 servings of fat. Then we want 4+ servings of vegetables. So this is just so we can keep everything controlled in categories. Everything is evenly distributed, and that way our body doesn't hold on to a specific category. So if we're having too much of a carb, not enough protein, our body's just going to hold on to all of it, and it's not going to really know what to do. All right, so those are your portions. So I want you to break your first, second, and third meal out into P, C, F, and V. Lay it out that way. Start filling in your categories right now and see where you are having issues filling in your categories. And if I know some people are doing this as couples, so make sure each of you have your own separate sheet. If anybody has any questions, let me know. All right.
Hey Priscilla, I have a
Yeah.
question. Because I do, for breakfast, we do yogurt. So I know that's protein in it. I don't eat like any eggs or anything like that. So how much yogurt would be serving of protein?
So if you are using, is it a Greek yogurt?
I do Greek yogurt because you do the 2 good.
The 2 grams something.
The
Yeah.
2 good.
I don't know what it's called. It's different.
So if it's a yogurt or something like that, you want to look at the protein size in grams on the back of the label, and your carb intake. So check that out really quick, because that'll let us know if it's 1 serving or if it's 2 servings. And if there's also carbs in it, then we got to account for those as a serving. You guys don't have this written down anywhere, but this is a really quick cheat sheet. If it's protein is 20 grams is 1 serving. especially if you're looking at nutrition labels. 20 grams for protein. A carb is half a cup. I think I already said that. And then a fat is 1 tablespoon, if you didn't want to say my thumb.
Okay.
But yeah, what does it say?
So this is the, I don't know if you can see the yogurt.
Okay.
And it says,
Yeah, so you can see.
it says 13 grams of protein per serving.
How much is a
So
serving?
3/4 cup is a serving size.
Okay, would you say you have that much? 3/4 of a cup
So we do about half a cup.
every
So that's
time?
less than 3/4 of a cup, yeah.
So you're getting less than the grams on that nutrition label.
Yeah,
All right,
basically.
so what did you say? There was 12 grams of protein?
13 grams of
13.
protein.
Okay, so let's just say a half a cup is likely to have 10 grams, just so we can have a solid number there. And then that means that when you have that, you're getting half of a serving of protein. So then questions to ask yourself are like, what kind of protein can I add to breakfast that's really going to make it 20 grams or make it a full serving? I see someone else is joining our chat. I'm just going to admit them in here.
I think maybe the walnuts counts.
So walnuts are a fat. And so sometimes,
Yeah.
so that's a good fat category. You could totally put some walnuts in there. How many walnuts fit in your thumb? Hey, Evelyn, thanks for joining us.
Hello.
So I have to do like 3 thumbs.
Right.
So yeah, so if we're talking about nuts, how many nuts really fit in your thumb? And then it's multiplying that by 2 to 3 and putting that as a snack in there as well. Or in your yogurt if you wanted to. The other thing I was gonna say was a protein shake. You could totally add onto that meal with the protein shake. And that could give you an easy 20 grams. I know the protein shakes that I typically grab are called OWN. And those have 20 grams. Yeah. Do you guys like protein shakes?
I don't know. I've heard good and bad things about protein shakes. I've always been like iffy with them. I always have, because I got friends back home who, like, one does CrossFit and they've all done karate, and I've been doing my best to be consistent with working out since I used to be in the army and stuff like that. And I feel like I just need to tighten up in certain areas. And that's, well, just to go back to it, I've never done proteins. I've always been like, I feel like you have to be like consistent if you're on protein, in my opinion, from what I've gotten.
I think that if, yeah, go ahead.
Like if you're, like for me, in my mind, you can't take protein if you don't work out. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you gotta.
Interesting. Okay.
That's the way I think about it. Like if you're taking protein, like you gotta work out. Because I've heard some people say that it could be just like I don't want to say extra body weight, but like just like it's meant for people who are very active. That's the image I think of someone who takes protein. Someone who's at least relatively active, always doing something like workout, but like they don't just take it just to sit there and take it. Because then you might get the opposite effect, you know?
Okay. So so protein also helps with cognitive functions. So it's good for your brain health if you have enough protein in it. It's good. It's not necessarily only for people who work out, especially women like Lily and I. We got to make sure we get our protein in because then our hormones get all crazy. And even guys too. You guys don't necessarily have the same amount of research that women have when it comes to like our hormone changes, but you might feel a shift sometimes every so weeks, and that shift is not by accident. It's just your body. But no, totally add some protein in there. Now I totally get if there are people who just don't like protein, and that's okay too. And if you were able to get, Chris, protein on your own, like through chicken and ham and whatever options like that, that's okay too. If you're getting 5 servings there, that's perfect. But I find that I can get more of my servings through a protein shake. But if I want you to also be open to it, there are a couple things that I won't be open to, which are like pre-workouts. So anything that's going to elevate your heart rate unnaturally. I'm okay with coffee and creatine. I'm a little weird on creatine, but I'm open to talking about it. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know if that kind of opened up your mind to protein a little bit more.
So, and the only other thing about protein that I always get confused of is like, from what I've heard, if you have protein, then you shouldn't have a meal. Like that's a meal replacement. So you shouldn't eat if you have protein. You know, that's what I've heard. I could be wrong because I haven't done my due diligence and done a lot of research on it. But from what my understanding, like if I had protein, that means I can't eat a meal for whatever, if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. That's pretty much my meal for the day.
No, so I totally want you. So like I would say, since we don't like just an example, I would do a protein shake and your yogurt and some walnuts, and that'd be a complete meal. So Evelyn, I want you to know that we're talking about categories right now, and there are a couple files in the Facebook group that you want to pull out, which are going to be your grocery list primarily, your portion control, and then your how to do your measurements. So just make sure if you want to qualify for prizes or anything like that, you fill out your measurements in your before pictures. But the two files we're talking about are going to be the grocery list one and your portion sizes, and we're talking about categories. And so you want to write down your categories for your three main meals. And the way we've separated it is through protein, carb, fat, and vegetables. So make a line, make 4 lines for all of those in your 3 main meals. And you want to make sure that you're filling each category in your meals. So that way your body knows that it's getting enough nutrients in each category to function throughout the day. This in turn will help us build strength where we need to build strength, or lose the fat around those parts of our muscles that we don't want. And really help us tone and lean out. Protein also, Chris, helps us stay satiated for longer periods of time, but as long as they're complete, because if we just have protein and we don't fill a category like a carb or a fat, then our body can get hungry very quickly after that. So I definitely think we want to make it a complete meal. I was going to add also, I have a protein shake called OWN, and on that protein shake, it says, this is a snack. It's not a meal replacement. So even though it's 210 calories or whatever, and there's 20 grams of protein, 10 grams on carbs, that means there's a full serving of protein and a half a serving of a carb. It's still not a full meal. So I then have to rely on me to then fill it in. So it was for example, today, like I grabbed an OWN protein shake and a Kind bar. I know a Kind bar is going to give me the fat and the carbs, which is going to give me the energy. And then I have the protein shake to give me satiation and to help my brain function and all the things that my body's supposed to do on the day-to-day basis. So that was a very fast way, kind of grab and go for me to head out the door. But other days I might make something like a shake. I might make a vanilla shake with a half a banana, a half a cup of strawberries, and so like 4 ounces of oat milk and the rest water. And like that would be complete if I added some spinach to it, or like a green powder. And so I would go about my day while I'm designing this meal plan. I'd go about my day making sure that each main meal is complete. And then you'll notice that if all 3 main meals are complete, you'll likely snack less. If you find that you're snacking a lot, you're missing a category, or you're not getting enough of something. If you're having trouble, if anybody's who's watching this that's having trouble like that, and they're like, Priscilla, I'm hitting all my categories, but I'm still really hungry, I'm still really snacking, I need you to reach out to me. Something is not right. And if I need to break it down for you, I will. If we need to break down your meal design, we can, is what I mean. So yeah. All right, Evelyn, were you able to put your categories together? Did you find it?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what does your first meal look like?
Coffee.
Coffee. I know what you mean. Okay.
I usually don't eat. I fast. I try most of the day. So I just have black coffee, and my first meal is usually around either 12 or 1.
Okay.
Either a salad. I try to eat low carbs. I noticed that I tend to gain weight with eat a lot of carbs. I eat quinoa, which I love, and I try to incorporate like lentils and things like that for in a lot of protein. I noticed that my body I do better if I have more protein in my meal than carbs.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not I omit it completely. Like I will have a toast sometimes, and I'll make sure I have a protein, avocado, and eggs.
Yeah.
Love it. But I tend to just have 2 meals a day. But
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something. Today, after I did the first day, I was hungry. I was like,
Good.
oh my God, what happened to my body? I was really, I mean, it was hard because I do 20 planks or something like that. Not planks, I cannot do planks. What's it called? Sit-ups.
Oh, yes,
And
yes,
I'm like,
yes.
oh, I already did exercise. I did not do anything like I did today. And I was literally exhausted and I was hungry. I was like, what's going on?
Good. Your
So I don't know.
metabolism is functioning very well then. That means that
Oh,
it used all the energy from the day to get you through that workout. So definitely some protein. You had some protein afterwards, I'm assuming,
I did.
and some complex carbs. What kind of carbs?
I had boiled potato and
Oh,
I
good.
had meat, and that was my first meal. And then
Wait,
recently I just had
what was the protein?
a steak, like
Oh, steak.
a
Okay,
piece of
so
steak.
steak,
Yeah.
potatoes, perfect protein, carb. What was your vegetable?
I did not have vegetables now that I think
Okay,
about it.
that's all right. Okay,
I
protein,
did not
carb.
incorporate.
Your fat in that meal. Would you say, did you add butter to the steak? Did you add or cheese to the potato? Did you add any fat to that meal?
No,
Okay,
no.
so that totally
Mm,
fine. I want you to think about adding some sort of fat to it. So if you didn't cook in oil or butter or add some sort of fat, try to fill that category. So your full complete meal would have the protein, steak, carb, potato, fat, avocado. And then that's good. The bonus would be the vegetable if you had a vegetable.
got
But you had that in the middle of the day to break your fast, you'll have enough energy to kind of get you through the rest of the day. What I try to get people out of is eating past 7. So anybody eating past 7, unless you're in a fasting window, like you just like if you're in your window of time, then that's okay. But try to not eat past 7. And then if you're really worried about carbs, try to have no carbs past 5. So those are
okay.
tricks to manipulating the nutrition. For anybody watching this now or watching this later, you want to definitely have your last meal before 7, unless you're fasting and you are a committed faster. And you want to have no carbs past 5 p.m. And that'll get your body to use the rest of the energy, carbs and fats in your body before you go to sleep. So that way, when you're sleeping, you are in a deficit. And then you should wake up. The way you know you did it right is if you wake up hungry. If you wake up hungry and you're like, oh my goodness, I could eat a lot. Then you fill your categories. You fill your protein, your carb, and your fat. And if it's you, Evelyn, then you wait till that noon time and you break that fast at noon with a complete meal. Yeah. There's a chat. I'm so sorry. This is the one I get. Yes, Spencer, that's the one I get. Chris, I just called you by your last name. Jasmine, tell me, what does your first meal look like?
Tea. Usually, seriously, tea, and I have this one Indian cookie I take, and then I have almonds, and
Okay.
yeah, that's my breakfast.
Okay,
But
so I definitely so this week's goal is water hydration, but I want you guys to know if it's not already in the Google Doc, it's protein. So next week's goal is protein in every single meal. So I'm hoping that everyone has seen this video by next week and then they can focus on protein. So Jasmine, your goal is to make sure you get protein in your first meal. You can have your Indian cookie. I'm not going to take that away from you. I feel like we've talked about this cookie for several years already. So keep it. And then what kind of protein do you think you can add to that first meal?
yeah, I can have an egg, it's like totally fine. I can have one in the morning.
Okay,
Um,
I'll take
yeah, I
that.
was writing it down, like, egg, avocado, or nuts, because I love nuts. And then veggies, I like right now I sometimes for lunch I make this cucumber, avocado, and some veggies, maybe spinach in there like a salad, but I don't always put a protein on it.
Okay.
So maybe I
So
need to
then,
do that.
yes. Okay, perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I want. And you could even add quinoa. So like Evelyn, I don't know if you heard her say the cucumbers and the avocados, and she's gonna add the protein to that. We could also, if this was another kind of meal or your meal, Evelyn, you could do quinoa to that, like a third of a cup, or you too, Jasmine, you could do that, and that would have your energy, your carb as your energy source, plus your fat as your energy source. And having both energy sources work together in the middle of the day will give you the max amount of, brain power, if you will, or
Yeah,
just the ability to stay up and work through the
right.
day. Yeah, and you want that.
Yeah. And I think my problem is more of the snack in between, because I think the meals are not that complete. So, I remember asking you, what kind of snacks do you take? And I remember you said, why do you need snacks?
Right,
Just
right,
have
right.
proper meals.
Right. So when you have
Yeah,
complete meals, your body will move away from those snacks because it will feel good. It will feel satiated.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good.
And the protein shake you mentioned, is it like available in grocery stores, or where do you get that one?
The OWN is available. I get mine from like Wegmans. I think I've seen
Okay.
them. I think
It's like
Walmart.
giant everywhere it's available then.
Yeah, it should be available everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
The other brand that I like is called Iconic. They are whey based, and yeah, if you wanted a whey
This
based.
one is plant protein, right?
This is a plant. The OWN is plant.
Yeah,
I
own is
prefer
plant.
chocolate because that's just me. But it tastes good. Both of them taste good. I tend to lean to OWN, just because I prefer it.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk about the second meal. We talked about the first meal and designing that. Let's talk about the second meal. Lily, tell me more about your second meal and what that looks like.
So usually I try to do like a protein, a carb, a veggie, and a fat. Like I try to do all of that, but I don't check how much servings. I just kind of just put as much as I want, I guess. I don't really count
Oh, you don't check
servings.
your portion sizes.
Portion sizes, yeah.
Okay.
So I try to always do, because we meal prep, so we'll cook like lunch for 4 or 5 days in a row, and then we'll separate it. And based on how much I feel like I should eat, like would make me full to last for the rest of my day after till I get home for
Okay.
dinner.
Yeah.
But I do eat like snacks in between. Like I'll have I've been trying to eat more fruits. But have been snacking a lot lately.
Okay.
Which is good, like chips or plantain chips, or sometimes sweets, even though I know I shouldn't because I love sweets.
So our body sounds like it's craving carbs. Carb is a sugar. It's a fast type of sugar. Plantain chips is a carb, complex carb. Not my favorite complex carb, but it's still. Actually, no, I'm sorry.
I feel like I also snack at work sometimes because I get bored. Like out
I'm
of boredom.
going to try to really focus on your portion controls, portion sizes. Give yourself a palm and a half of protein and 1/3 cup. One half cup of carb of choice. So that could be lentils, carbs, or beans, rice, potatoes, and see if your body will stop craving energy, because it's lacking energy. It's lacking carbs.
Yeah, I definitely feel unenergized when I'm at work. Like I sit at a desk all day, so I feel like, I don't know if it's because I'm bored and I need more carbs or whatever.
Yeah, you might just need more energy to function. Yeah, to like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or yeah, you could be getting bored. Like you could be like, yeah.
Right, exactly. So I mean, is it like
water?
Oh, I do a lot of, I've always been someone who drinks a lot of water.
Okay.
But like if I do want a snack, is like fruits okay to do? Because like I'll try to have like a kiwi or a clementine throughout, like even before, it's like between breakfast and lunch, I'll have a couple different fruits to kind of be okay through until lunchtime.
So
and drink water too.
If you were to lay out your fruits, your snacks, and your meals, how many carbs do you have for that day? So a
So-
clementine and a kiwi are probably, I don't think, they're probably like 10 grams.
For a fruit, a
Yeah,
kiwi.
yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, so I'll do a kiwi.
Yeah, it's 14 grams.
So at breakfast, I'll do the yogurt. I'll add walnuts, dates. I put peanut butter in the yogurt. I'll put maple syrup, cinnamon, and then I'll mix it all together. That's what I do for
First
breakfast.
meal? Is this your first one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I'll do like
Clementine is
1
the-
tablespoon of each of those things and flax seeds too in the yogurt because I feel like I don't like how it tastes on its own, so I put different stuff in it to make it taste better. And then I'll have like a couple fruits before lunch, and then I'll do my lunch with my carb, all the things, carb, fat. For my fat, I usually do half an avocado, which might be too much fat.
Yeah.
So I'll do a carb. I don't measure out the carb size, serving size. I do the half of avocado. I'll do my protein, which I don't measure, and then fruit, vegetables, which I don't really measure.
Okay. I think
Mhm.
we need more protein. I feel like we have a lot of energy, a lot of carbs, which could be also making us tired. We have an
Okay.
excess amount of energy, it'll slow things down. How can we beef up our breakfast? Like I'm okay with the yogurt, I'm okay with the flaxseed, 1 tablespoon of flaxseed. I'm okay with, you said the walnuts, also a tablespoon?
No, I just kind of just grab some and throw it in there. Like I don't measure that.
Which
I'll
is
do
probably a
dates.
serving. Dates is a carb. So
Oh, it's
we
okay.
did a fat flaxseed, we did a fat with walnuts, even if it's just a pinch. So we got 2 fats right here.
Yeah, and then I'll do a tablespoon of peanut butter and then a tablespoon of maple syrup.
Fat. We got 3 servings of fat. Syrup is a carb. All right, so we have 3 fats here. You got 1 more fat for the rest of the day. So that avocado, that half avocado that you're having later is putting us over, unless we account for 5 servings of fat and we did 3 servings of carbs for the day, which means that your yogurt has 1. What was your carb for lunch?
Like this week I'm doing quinoa.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do rice, sometimes I'll do quinoa, sweet potatoes.
Okay,
So
so
this
I
week I'm
see
doing
what's
quinoa.
happening. I see you are beefing up your fats and your carbs almost are lower. That's why you're craving your plantains and sugar, because we're not having enough carbs. But then your kiwi and your clementine. So it's your quinoa, your kiwi and your clementine. You have your half. All right. Keep your kiwi and your clementine. Keep your quinoa.
Mhm.
Keep your dates in your yogurt. I like that. Your walnuts, your flaxseed, I'm all for that. Can you do a protein shake for breakfast? Like an Owen protein shake?
Yeah, I could try doing that.
So
So the
give me
yogurt
a
with all the
bigger-
stuff I already put on
yeah,
in it,
give
and
me a
then
bigger breakfast. Give me a big breakfast with that Owen. You might feel really good, like for
okay, I'll try that.
hours. And then that might just do the trick because the Owen will give you another half a serving. So you might be closer to 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 servings for the day. For dinner, if you are not starving, go for your protein. Go for 2/5 of vegetables, protein, carb, and then your dressing, 1 or 2 tablespoons of dressing of choice if you want, or avocado, like 1/4 of a sliver. If you're
Okay.
like, I have a headache, Priscilla, like I'm going to rage, then you want 1/4 cup of carb, just to
Okay.
get at bay, like, shh, be quiet. And then
Okay.
that'll help us. That'll help our body get enough, but not be too greedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I don't need a carb at dinner, don't have it. But if I
Right.
feel like
Yeah.
that,
No.
the headache or
Have your
whatever.
protein, have your vegetable. If you don't feel like you need that energy, then do not have the carb. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I want to talk about our last meal, our dinner. So I've already kind of talked a little bit about it with Lily. Your last meal is whatever you have left. Just not, if you have 4 servings of carbs left, you are not going to have 4 servings of carbs for dinner. Like, you lost. You're going to wait for the next day and you're going to try again. Because that's too much energy for the evening time. For your evening time, you definitely want to have your protein, and you definitely want to have your vegetables. So like, people who have salads, I know Evelyn was having a salad. There are some people, other people who have salads for like lunch, and they just have a protein, a vegetable, and a fat. If you can move that to dinner, or duplicate it to dinner, and then give me a carb serving for that middle of the day, like a quinoa, a rice, a potato, a sweet potato, a plantain, anything that'll fill that carb category, then dinner doesn't need to have a carb. Especially if we're already hitting our 3 to 4 servings of carbs for the day before 5. We don't need to have any more for the remaining day. Evelyn, I don't know if you caught this, but I said that ladies our goal is 4 servings of protein for the day. So your goal is to try to get 4, and then 3 to 4 servings of carbs, 3 to 4 servings of fat, and then 4+ servings of vegetables. For those that are kind of watching the conversation that I just had with Lily, I want you to know that we made a swap. So as we were talking, I was sort of saying she's in 5 servings of fat and less on carbs. So we want to try to balance that out. But you may be a person where you function better on, maybe Evelyn, this might be you, where you function better on 3 servings of carbs and 5 servings of fat. Maybe fat's your jam, and that's okay, because your body functions better on fat. That doesn't mean you're going to gain more fat. It just means nutritionally, it is your body is a happier place when it has its avocados, its oils, its nuts, its seeds, its flax seeds, so those kind of things. And you'll figure that out. We'll figure that out together. I find that I'm sort of right in the middle. I'll have 4 servings of protein. I'm hitting around 80 to 100 grams of grams of protein for the day. Carbs are a little under 100, so I'm around 4 to 5, and then fats are a little bit lower. I can be okay with like 3 servings of fat. Does anybody like to use MyFitnessPal, or wants an idea of how that would work? No.
I used to use that before, so.
Okay.
Same.
I've kind of gotten away from it. I only, if I need to check myself and be like, how many grams is it even, then I will. And then once I do it for a week, and then I kind of just let it go. I find that people put numbers to food, and then it just creates a negative relationship with food. But then I also find people who love control, that they love to see the numbers kind of add up like that. So if you are a MyFitnessPal person, I'm going to just say it for the video. If you're a MyFitnessPal person and you are a female, then I want your numbers, your grams of protein, to be at minimum of 80 grams for the day. Carbs, do not, try your hardest to not go over 100 grams. That means that you're getting at least 5 servings of carbs for the day. And then your fat is going to be around 50 grams. And your fiber is going to be closer to the 20 grams. So if you're ever like, what are these numbers kind of lay out, you can plug it all into MyFitnessPal, and it will tell you exactly that. And if you are the type of person that you want to iron it out, and you're like, I need it to be a certain percentage, then you can plug in these percentages into your MyFitnessPal. You can range anywhere between 25 to 30 grams. I'm sorry, 25 to 30%. So there's a section in your MyFitnessPal that totals up to 100. And you can say, all right, 25% protein, 35% fat, and then 30% carbs. And then you kind of have it laid out that way. As long as it adds to 100, then we're even. And then you'll find that might be able to kind of help guide you into that balanced lifestyle. Because sometimes portion sizes, I can kind of explain the portion sizes to everybody, but then not everyone will get it, and they'll need to see it. And that's okay too. If anybody's watching this and you have more questions on that, feel free to reach out to me. If anybody feels like they would like a conversation, another kind of conversation like this, I can try to plan another one as well too, maybe a couple weeks later. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Any additional questions? I'm kind of gonna run through this. No. Okay. All right. Chris, tell me your last meal. What did you put for your last meal?
So we made, was it Korean? Well, we had quinoa, we had ground beef, cucumbers, carrots, and then we had this spicy mayo sauce that we put it
Nice.
in. Yeah,
Nailed
yeah.
it.
So that was my lunch. Yeah, and I still need dinner, which I'm probably just gonna eat after this.
Perfect.
But yeah.
That's really good because you had a protein, you had a fat with your mayo, you had a carb and a vegetable. So you had 2 vegetables. So that's really good. No, that's great. If you could essentially duplicate that meal or fill in your categories for dinner, that'd be good. For you, Chris, you want to pay attention to how your body's feeling. If your body's feeling like, oof, I'm like full, then you want to cut out the carbs essentially from that dinner and see if you get everything else. Yeah, okay. Great. No, good. What's can someone tell me what like what their dinner is? Anybody else?
I was thinking of skipping my dinner now because it's already 7 p.m. Maybe that might be a better idea.
I'd be open to protein of some sort. Like if you were to get some sort of protein, then I know that your body's at least getting that. And then start fresh tomorrow.
Can we do a this protein shake for dinner?
Perfect. Yeah, if you feel good and you're not nibbling or munching or anything else, then start with that. And then tomorrow start fresh, and have a protein focused morning.
Okay.
For your first meal, whenever that happens.
Yeah.
What about you, Evelyn?
I had chicken soup.
Nice. Great. Chicken broth
had-
or broth in general is
It had chicken
excellent.
broth, chicken, celery, carrots, and it had pasta.
Okay, pasta. How many cupped hands would you say was in that bowl of soup with the pasta? If you were to like to separate it.
Probably half a cup.
Okay,
It was-
perfect. Yeah. The what you did there was kind of like
Yeah.
a fist, which would kind of
Mhm.
simulate like half a cup. Perfect. That'd be
Yeah.
fine. Your chicken would be your protein. Your half a cup would be your 1 serving of carb. Your chicken broth is totally bonus, but any of your vegetables in it also count. So protein, carb, fat, veggie. Boom, you nailed it. You got it. That's totally a good meal. As long as you're filling your categories, you can't go wrong with it. It's only in the dinner time one that if you're not hungry, then pull out the carbs, or if you're hitting your 4 carbs in the beginning of the day, then definitely don't have any carbs for the evening time. Cool. All right. I think that's all I have on my end. I know we're hitting an hour, or almost an hour here. Before I hop off, just let me know if anybody has any burning desired questions.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
So for the servings, that's all per day, right?
For the servings, that is per day. Total per
Okay,
day.
so for instance, like for me as a guy, so if I have 6 servings, so for instance, I could probably have 1 serving of protein for breakfast, 2 for lunch, and then 2 for dinner. Or should I do a reverse? Like 2
I
for
would do it
breakfast, 2 for dinner.
reverse.
Okay,
would
so
do-
heavier in the morning and lighter at the day. Oh, at
Yeah,
night.
I would do
Yeah.
2 for breakfast, 2 for lunch, and then 1 for dinner. But if you're like, I'm really hungry, then go for that 1.5 or another
Mhm.
serving. So if you fall at 5 protein for the day, that's perfectly fine, especially if you feel good.
And then I was also thinking about, I was talking to Lily. So my portion size obviously now is going to be more because we usually meal prep on Sundays. So then usually I'm going to probably have to have a little bit more than she does, essentially, when it comes to food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's
Thank
gonna
you.
be taking yeah, no problem. She's gonna be taking a little bit less than you. You're essentially eating 2 more servings in a day. In a perfect world.
Yeah.
And that's why our main goal next week is to focus on the protein, because I find that people don't get it. They don't get enough. And then when they do, they're like, whoa, like I'm not snacky. I'm not super hungry anymore. I can get through a whole day. And then other really wonderful things happen after that as well too. So yeah, if we can get the protein down, everything else will fall into place. And usually once we get the protein down, people start saying, oh, I'm really full. That means the protein it's satiating the hunger. And then we can start pulling away from any excess carbs or snacks that somebody might be having. Because the idea is we want to be in a deficit so that we can drop the fat on our body or any excess weight from our body and really just tone up and trim out really nicely. So that's what we're hoping for. All right. Well, I'm excited to do these more often. Next week will be our next topic. I think I may have already posted what it was going to be about. Oh, it's not. I didn't post it here. And it really just might depend on what everyone's saying. If people are asking for another nutrition conversation, then I might just do that. But let me see. I have it here. It is another nutrition talk. Okay. So if anybody else is making this at the very end of the video, we're going to be talking about people who have an intolerance or an autoimmune disease. And so best ways to kind of get rid of that kind of stuff. Usually it's avoiding grains, dairy, and gluten. But if that's not you, then you don't need to worry about it. So yeah, that's what we'll talk about next week. Okay. Well, I'm going to get ready to hop off here. You guys totally comment, message, email me if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer that for you. It was great chatting with all of you. I hope you have
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Bye.